Hi, my name is Hannah Killo, and today I'm going to tell you a story about how I ran on the cross country team despite having no previous experience and never running distance before. I actually ended up running into the coach in the hallway at school, and I didn't know her prior to this, but she pitched the idea to me. She was like, "We don't have that many people on our team. Like, if you can run, why don't you come run with us?" And obviously, I was like, no, this is not me. This is not what I do. I've never done this before. But I thought it was pretty funny. I ended up texting my mom and telling her about it. And she was like, "Well, I think that's a great idea. I think you should do that. I think you can do it." And I still wasn't sold. I actually ended up thinking it over for a few more days. And then I decided, why not give it a try? Why not take the step out of my comfort zone? It might end up working out. It didn't really, but it's okay. So my experiences during the season, we ran a lot. And it was definitely hard on my body. We ran a lot of races. Some of the short distance ones at first were a bit easier, but once you get into the longer ones at the end of the season, it became a pretty big challenge. I did have to walk some, but that's nothing to be embarrassed about. It was definitely hard on my body, though, to go from no miles a week to 15, 20, 25. And it did show. I hurt myself about halfway through the season. I actually got shin splints. And if you don't know, shin splints basically just make your lower legs hurt like really bad when you walk or run. So the only way to have those heal is just by resting and letting them heal naturally. So I was sidelined for probably the last half of the season. But I still got to go to the meets. I still got to watch. It was really just a lot of fun to watch, honestly. And I know you wouldn't think so. Half the time you can't even see the runners because they're in the woods. But the parts that you could see, it's definitely a lot more intense. The parents are very serious about it. That was probably the most shocking part, is they were not fooling around. It was very interesting. And it was so intense when the race would get down to the wire and you would have two guys just giving it their all right at the finish line. It was much more interesting than you would think. And I did make a lot of friends through the process, through my teammates. I met new people, met new girls from other schools that I'd never spoken to before. I got to learn a lot about the sport. I got to learn a lot about the people. It was a lot of fun, really. Overall, definitely a fun experience. Would I do it again? No, I don't think so. A little too hard. Definitely could channel my effort into something I'm a little better at. I did have goals for the season. My goal was to not come in last, and I never did. Obviously, I never came in first, but I was sticking about the middle of the pack, and that made me happy. I was pleased with that. Overall, I think the moral of the story here is to never be afraid to take a huge step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you're afraid to fail, because you actually might end up liking it and you might end up succeeding. You never know until you try. Thank you.